Wisdom is having a proper view of yourself, in view of God and creation and your own capabilities, and the Bible says the beginning of wisdom is the fear of God. So that's the start of it.
Common sense, being able to apply philosophy to life.
I suppose it's experience of the world. Perception is intelligence, so I suppose the ability to perceive the world. Wisdom, I suppose, is experience of that and knowledge.
I think it's something to do with having lived for long enough, having experienced a lot of things in life, and then I think you get something which is probably wisdom.
Oh la la, wisdom, that's very difficult. Wisdom is to know what to do, thinking that you are not hurting anybody. Yes.
Awareness of yourself and others.
Wisdom is knowledge from within.
I think wisdom is not being full of "I told you so," and about being patient and kind and considerate.
What is good for the other and for me, it's a limit in between what is good for the other and what is good for me, yeah? And what is bad for the other and what is bad for me. Yeah? It's in there what you find out about it, isn't it? Yeah?
Okay. I think wisdom is probably like knowledge and having an understanding of everything. I really don't know. I really don't know.
Who do you...
Experience. From experience, yeah.
Possibly our innate experiences, intelligence, being able to apply our intelligence to practical affairs. It's like in England, James I was called the wisest fool in Christendom, so intelligence doesn't always make you wise.
From age, from nature, from God.
It's a good question, I don't quite know.
I think wisdom comes from life experiences. It's not something you can learn at universities, because there's lots of educated idiots.
From within, I would say it again.
The ancient Greeks.
It's from Greece, I think. The concept is from Greece, yeah, where the philosophy was set up, yeah.
I think wisdom comes from a lot of things, like the environment around you, culture, other people. It's just learning about other things, and that increases your knowledge and hence increases your wisdom.
History, I suppose, history and learning things. You obviously, where did wisdom come from? I suppose we build on wisdom of our ancestors, Kepler, Einstein. You know, the famous people. If you look back, you probably surprise yourself at how much we've learned in the last few millennia, and obviously every day we build on that. And an intelligent person is not necessarily a person who knows all these things. They might have a good brain, but it's just experiencing the environment that you're in.
I have a hard time naming many national leaders, if that's what you're talking about. Certainly not George Bush, certainly not Tony Blair. I'd have a hard time naming that one at this point.
My mum.
My granny is wise, I think.
The one that doesn't hurt anybody, that doesn't hurt himself, and that tries to, what could I say, that tries to live in a way that gives happiness to other people.
I can't answer that because it depends on the situation, and you only ever think it was wise after the outcome.
Buddha?
Who do I think is wise? It's a good question. I think that everyone is a product of their environment. You can't really say any specific person is wise. I suppose someone that you feel you could count on for advice, for direction.
Yeah, like Dalai Lama and people who think a lot about it and are able to do what they have to do.
Got no idea at all.
My grandmother. She was in hiding from the secret police in Chile, and she's not full of righteous wisdom. I'm sure you know there are lots of people who are like, oh, I know the answer to this and that, but she's wise and she's patient and she's very decent.
Just through like people, other people, understanding other cultures, the environment around you.
Meditating.
Life experience, travel, doing things.
Thinking.
Living life to the full and long enough, and then you get wisdom, you find wisdom.
It goes back to the first question about being aware. You need to be aware before you can get wisdom. So I suppose you'd have to to be open, to actually think open, as opposed to be very closed.
Through life, and some of the lessons you learn in life aren't very nice, but just by living really and being open.
Somebody must teach you.
You tend to be successful.
Think through experience, obviously through intelligence and learning, through some humility, knowing that you can also be wrong quite often.
I think if you think you have it, you probably don't. It's about an intelligent person, I suppose, is humble, and they say, I'm not necessarily intelligent. But like I said, perception is really, I think, what wisdom is about, and the ability to think. And I think that someone maybe is a philosopher. A person who studies philosophy is a person who's searching for something. They're not necessarily wise. A person who philosophizes is a person who understands the world, and they are wise.
I don't know, but I'm sure someone does.
You hope you got it, but you never know if you got it.
You may not know it if you really have wisdom, because again, it's part of a form of humility.
You feel it, like love.
I think when you get wisdom, nothing can, it's like a very strong power.
Oh, that's a tricky question. I guess everyone probably have different answers to that.
Study is not bad. Learning from your own experiences and others, reading.
I think when you get more relaxed about life and the problems that come with it. I think, yes, I'm not sure because I haven't got it yet, but I think that's what the feeling is going to be like.
You never have it. You don't have it. No one is wiser than anybody else, and there isn't. Well, depending, but I think you go through life searching for wisdom, and that's part of the whole thing. And most of the time, you realise that you don't know anything. The more time you spend on Earth, that's it.
Plato was quite wise when he said love is a grave mental illness. I think that's pretty wise.
I don't know. I think my granny.
Got no idea.
Other than my gran, Nelson Mandela, because he isn't bitter about what he's learnt and he stuck up for what he believed in.
Someone that fought for independence, maybe, like Martin Luther King or Mahatma Gandhi, because they fought for so many people. They had the wisdom and the intelligence to do that, to know that what all these countries and people were doing was wrong, and they fought for the country.
Probably Jesus Christ.
And why?
His wisdoms and last for like 2,000 years. So must mean something.
Well, you could say Jesus Christ, but of course then you would say he was divine, but I'm not sure who you would say is the wisest human. I don't know. You can, at times, Solomon evidenced that, but at times he made a fool out of himself, too. I don't know who the wisest would be.
Thank you.
Gandhi. A human one, eh?
Mm-hmm. I think it was Gandhi. Gandhi, Why? Because he did so much for this planet. I mean, I could have said somebody else, but I think he's done so much for everybody.
I think the wisest person that ever lived knows that they aren't wise, but makes us believe that they are. Jesus. I don't know if you believe that he's necessarily the Messiah, but he certainly was the greatest man that ever lived. People think he's from God. I don't know. I think we're all people, and the wisest person is the person that gets people to follow them and to agree with their ideas based on their actions.